Hey there, Gina here with AGA Business Solutions. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through SEO blogging for wedding pros. So, we're going to talk about what makes a good blog. I'm going to go over SEO guidelines with you. And then I'm also going to introduce you to the secret AI blogging tool that is the only tool you will ever need to create blogs for your wedding business. So, let's jump in and talk about the power of blogging. There are two main objectives when it comes to blogging: get found and build trust. Now, both of these are important. And ideally, what you want to find is the sweet spot that does both. So, that tool I'm going to show you is designed to do just that. It's designed to help you with SEO, but also to gain trust with your ideal client. Really important to remember when it comes to blogging that you're not writing for Google, you're writing for the person Googling. So, although I'm going to go over SEO guidelines, it's always important to remember not to focus too much on SEO, not to be trying to put too many keywords in there or being too focused on it. You really want that sweet spot. And you want to, if you had to put your focus on one thing, it really should be on the person reading your blog, the person Googling that information, because what's the point of getting found if it doesn't lead to booking? So that's the ultimate goal, is we want those blogs to convert. So let's talk about really quick what makes a good blog. It's not generic or filled with fluff. So that's a lot of times what ChatGPT or what these AI tools will do. It's really a lot of generic fluff. So we want to make sure that it's gives very specific advice or important takeaways. It's relatable and makes people feel seen. So that's always a goal in every part of your business, is really making your ideal client feel seen, making sure that they know that you know who they are, you know what they care about, you know their pain points. So blogging is great for that. It sparks curiosity or challenges a belief. This is an interesting one. This is one that I use a lot because I like to challenge a lot of beliefs when it comes to social media. So that's kind of what my blogs are around. So it might be something within the wedding industry where everyone says you have to do one thing or another thing, but you're helping people challenge that belief. And that also often makes them feel seen. It has personality and a clear point of view. It's clearly outlined and formatted for readability. So I'm going to show you some examples, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So it's important that it's clearly outlined and formatted for readability, not only for user experience, but also for Google. Google loves things that are very well organized. So that's going to help your blog to index better. It has supporting visuals when relevant. Obviously, we're in a very visual aesthetic business, the wedding industry. So you're going to want to have those beautiful visuals. I'm going to show you how to optimize those for SEO as well. So basically what your reader is asking is, was it worth my time? So all of these things are going to allow you to create a blog that is worth someone's time, because there's nothing worse than if you actually catch someone's attention. That's the most important thing and the hardest thing to do. So let's say they're on your site and they're like, oh, this looks interesting, or they're Googling and your blog comes up, and then they click on that blog. If they feel like it was a waste of their time, that's going to really obviously not build trust. That's going to make them not trust you. So we want to really make sure that your blogs feel like they're worth the time of your readers. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're going to look at an informational educational blog and then a real wedding blog. So I'm going to go over these real world examples, and that's where we're going to get into the SEO and best practices. Okay, so here we have a blog that I created for this video for a wedding photographer: 6 natural wedding photo posing tips for couples. So the first thing is your title. The most important thing with your title, first of all, is that it's an H1 tag. Now, most of your blogging platforms are going to do this for you. The other thing with your title is that you want to make sure that the most important thing is that this is something that your ideal client is interested in. So I don't want you to get too hung up on it being the absolute perfect search term. Google's pretty smart. It's going to know what this blog is about. So even if someone doesn't type in exactly wedding photo posing tips, but they type in a variation of that title. If you format this blog really well, this blog is going to be indexed for a lot of different search terms that are basically talking about the same thing. So there are a few tools that you can use: Uber Suggest, Google Keyword Tool. Also, the tool that I'm going to show you when I'm done going over these blogs will also help you look for really good SEO rich, keyword rich titles. So that's the first most important thing, is that that title is something that your clients are searching for and that they care about. So let's go ahead and go down here and talk about your images. Obviously, you're going to be um, adding those beautiful aesthetic images to your post. So you want to make sure that you add alt text to all of your images. And again, most of your blogging platforms, I use Wix. I know Squarespace does it, WordPress. So they're all going to have tools that are going to allow you to add that alt text, ALT, to your images. That's going to help with your Google search. You can also, of course, put captions in here if you want to shout out to the photographer. I just put that in here, even though this is the photography website. So the next thing we're going to talk about is keywords. So what you want to do is you want to organically layer keywords into your blog. You want to make sure you don't stuff it with keywords. You want to just use them very naturally and organically. And if you're talking about a specific subject, that's probably going to happen naturally anyways. Next is you want to sprinkle different links throughout your post. This is going to be not only for your user experience, but Google loves links as well. It wants to make sure that your blog is a really great resource for people. So this this link, for instance, would go directly back to this website, going maybe to their gallery, or probably their gallery or their information. Or of course, I'm going to show you in the real wedding blog, you're going to want to put those links to other vendors, maybe another blog post. So making sure you have those links where relevant. The next thing I'm going to show you is something that not very many people add to their blogs, and that is a table of contents. So again, remember, like I said, Google loves things that are very well organized. That becomes very indexable and will help you rank higher a lot quicker. So your table of contents is basically just going to link to each of those sections within your blog. So again, not only for Google, but it's great for your users as well. They can kind of look at this and be like, oh, I really want to know more about this subject, so I'll go right there. So in general, you can kind of see how this blog is really well formatted. It's got, specific sections. It's got short paragraphs. People are skimmers, so this is the way they naturally like to read. More shorter paragraphs. Bullet points are great. And then, of course, those beautiful images. So we already talked about your title being H1. All of your headings for your sections are going to be your H2. And then this is going to be your paragraphs. I'm going to also show you an example at the end of this blog where you might use an H3. But those H1 and H2 are really your most important. And again, all of your blogging platforms are going to have that ability for you to add that H1 or H2 tag. So you've got all of your sections here, all formatted really well, super indexable, really easy for clients to skim. And we'll go all the way down to the end here with your conclusion. So your conclusion should always add some kind of call to action or CTA. And that's going to be to reach out for information. Again, maybe going to a different reference, another blog post, but typically something about reaching out for information. And one of the things I also want to point out, one of the biggest mistakes that I see with blogging is that people use their blogs as basically a big sales pitch. The whole blog is like all about why they should book you. So you definitely don't want your blogs to be about you. You want them to be about your client. But of course, people, if they like your blog, they're going to be interested in potentially working with you. So I'm always making sure you've got that link somewhere they can reach out or take the next step. So this is a really great, again, for SEO and for user experience, is a frequently asked questions. I think every informational or educational blog should have a frequently asked questions. So my format Wix has this little drop down. If yours doesn't, then you could just format it like usual here, bullet points or whatever. And this is where you're going to have this be your H2. Your questions are going to be your H3. And then your answers are going to be your paragraph. So again, super indexable. Google loves this frequently asked questions. This is also going to help you to come up more in AI search, and then also that people also ask section. And then finally, we just kind of added in here some really great photos with that alt text as well, just a little extra bonus here for your readers. So this is a really great, really well formatted blog that's going to help you get indexed really well on SEO for SEO, and then also be really great for your users, very skimmable. So we're going to go ahead and hop to a real wedding. I'm also going to talk about your meta description. That's the other important thing for your blog. So we talked about your keywords, your H1 title, your H2 sections, and then the last piece of the puzzle is that meta description. So I'm going to talk to you about that when we go through that blogging tool that I told you about. But we're going to go ahead and hop over to a real wedding blog, and I'm going to give you some pointers for that. So first thing, again, the title. So typically what I see with real weddings is something like Scott and Jill, Chicago, Illinois, or Scott and Jill, September 2025. Well, no one is Googling Scott and Jill. So we really want to create a keyword rich title. So even those real wedding blogs can get indexed. Now, the other thing that I see that typically wedding pros do is they just kind of photo dump. There's not a whole lot of information. If you just want to display the photos, I recommend that you have something like a featured gallery feature on your website. Don't use your blogs necessarily just to photo dump your gallery. So you do, however, want to take this opportunity to create a story about this wedding. This is a really good opportunity to give your clients the idea of what it feels like to work with you. So a lot of the same rules are going to apply. Obviously, that alt text for your images. We're going to sprinkle in those keywords, all of those links. I'm still doing a table of contents here. So you can see right here, we still have that wedding gallery linked in here, but we're going to kind of go through, and I kind of chunked it up into different, this one's about a destination wedding, so different sections. Here we go with our gallery. So I thought this formatted really beautifully, where if they want, they could come in and see that larger photo, but it's not taking up so much room on the blog. So we kind of went through, like I said, and did these sections. This is same rules apply, that H2, that supporting text here. We've got some of your vendors linked here. And if we go all the way down to the end of this blog, I also added planning tips for a Montenegro destination wedding. So obviously, if this is a destination wedding, you can steal this to use for your blog. Or let's say it's not a destination wedding. Let's say it was just at a specific venue. You could do planning tips for that specific venue. Or if you're a photographer, areas for, great photos, whatever, just something that's kind of a helpful tip. Even in those real wedding blogs, that's just going to take it up a notch, really impress your users, your readers, your potential clients, and also really, really great for SEO. And those great bullet points. And then, of course, we've got your vendor team down here with all of those links. So this is how you do a really, really great real wedding blog, not only for your users, but also for SEO. And I know this stuff takes a lot of time, which is exactly why we created this amazing blogging tool that I'm going to show you now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is where to find this tool. It is actually on our website. It's something we created, so agabusinesssolutions.com. And if you click on Custom AI Blog Assistant, you can actually try it free for 14 days. FYI, it's also free all the time, and definitely for any of our active social media or virtual assistant clients. But basically, this is going to be a custom built chat GPT for your business. This is not another generic AI tool that's going to give you generic fluffy blogs. It's going to be very specific to your brand voice. So once you click on that start your free trial, you'll be taken to a questionnaire where we're going to obviously want to get some information on your business so we can build this tool for you. So we're going to want to find out about your products and services, features and benefits, your ideal client, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and hop over. So this does look like ChatGPT. However, it's not your normal generic ChatGPT. It is custom built for you. So you do need to have a ChatGPT account, but it can be a free one. It is probably useful if you upgraded ChatGPT if you want to write a lot of blogs or use it a lot, but you can go ahead and use this with a free account. So if you do sign up, you'll get a link and then that'll take you right to your personal blog assistant. So we're going to start out by just clicking on the get started here. So the very first thing that it's going to do is it's going to ask you, hey, do you want help coming up with blog ideas, or do you already have a topic you want to refine? So let's say, for instance, you had a real wedding. You could say, I want to blog about a real wedding. Here is the information. Here's the date and the location and some key points about this wedding. You can even upload some images so it has a little more context. And then it's going to walk you through step by step writing your blog. So that's one of the great features of this is typically if you use ChatGPT or other AI tools, there's even tools that'll just automatically write your blog for you. And typically that's what you do with ChatGPT is you go in, you're like, hey, write me a blog about this and that. And it's going to write the whole blog, and then it makes it really hard to go in and refine and edit it. So this is going to take you one step at a time. So again, if you've got an idea, you can plug it in, but I'm going to actually say, I need help. And it's going to go ahead and give you some already SEO optimized titles and ideas. You can obviously let it know if you want to use one of these or refine the direction. You can see here that it already knows our location. So it's giving us some things for that location. And let's go ahead and do number 3. Go ahead and plug that in. And the next thing it's going to do is it's going to ask you, great, do you have any certain tips or anything specific you want to add to this blog? It's even going to give you some questions to spark some ideas. So you can go ahead and give it your very specific expertise, your experience, maybe some real world examples. For the sake of time, I'm going to actually let the tool do everything for me, which you can do that as well, but I don't recommend it. You definitely want to give it, like I said, your own expertise. But we're going to go ahead and just say, go ahead. So now what it's going to do is it's going to give you a proposed outline. So it's going to give you those specific sections, those specific mistakes. And you can, of course, go through and say, this all looks great. I don't want to add this. I do want to add that. You can just refine your outline. So we're going to go ahead again for the sake of time and say, go ahead. And now what it's going to do for every single section is it's going to first ask you, is there anything specific you want to add? Or do you want it to draft it first and then you can give feedback? So first is going to be your introduction. So if there's anything specific you want to add to the introduction, do that there. But we're just going to say, go ahead. And it's going to go ahead and add, draft the introduction. So this, again, this custom tool is built for your brand. However, no AI, even this tool, even though it's better than anything out there, it's still not perfect. So if you want it to be a little more playful, a little shorter, a little longer, a little more informative, you can, of course, give it that feedback. And then it's just going to do that same thing every single section. So we'll go to the next section, that mistake number 1. You're going to give it any specific details you want to include. We're just going to say, go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through and do this. I'm just going to, again, let the tool write everything for me. You will notice that it is programmed to give bullet points when it feels like it's relevant, but I'm going to actually ask it. Okay, and then it's going to draft that section just like that. So you can go through and tell it to do that for each section, or I'm going to say, just so I don't have to tell it every time. So again, you don't have to do this, but you're just going to give it your input moving forward. Okay, so same thing. And then again, I'm just going to go through and let it write all of these for me. Okay, so the final thing that it's going to take you to is the conclusion and call to action. So, as I mentioned before, when I was showing you the real or the sample blogs, is that you don't want your blog to be all salesy and all about you, but of course you do want to let people know how they can work with you. So, this is where the custom GPT is going to prompt you to give a call to action. So we can say, just go ahead and click in this one, or you can put whatever you want. Also, really great idea to go ahead and add a URL, maybe to your contact page, and then it will incorporate that into the conclusion. So it's going to go ahead and write the conclusion, and then it's going to ask you, of course, does it look good? I'm just going to say, go ahead and do the full blog. And you can see here that it is programmed to do that table of contents for you. And then it's going to write everything out. So now at this point, you can basically just come through and copy and paste this into your blogging format. And then finally, it's going to ask you, would you like to make any final edits? And it's going to create that meta description. I'm just going to say, looks good. And the final thing it's going to do for you is do an SEO optimized meta description, and it's going to give you a little bit of a reminder. So copy and paste the blog into your blogging platform, link the table of contents, set those H1, H2s. So that's again where you're going to go in and plug in all that SEO information. So I hope this video was helpful. Of course, I would love for you to try our AI blog assistant. So there's a QR code here if you want to try that. Also, of course, if you need any help with your wedding business, we do strategic social media management, custom website design, and we also offer virtual assistants for the wedding industry. So thank you so much for joining me, and happy blogging. Bye.